Hi everyone, it's Miss Kristy from East Pennsboro Library, and today we are going to start a new virtual storytime series. How exciting! And I can't wait. It's a really exciting series. It is the Skippyjon Jones series. And I don't know if you've ever heard of Skippyjon Jones. This was the very first time I ever read any Skippyjon Jones books, and let me tell you, they are hysterical. Today we're going to start with the first book, and the first book is called Skippyjon Jones, and that is the only thing that the title is about. And this book series is by Judy Schachner, and I'm going to be reading it with permission from Scholastic Book. Let me show you the second book that I'm going to read next week, Skippyjon Jones in the Doghouse. So all of the books after this one have Skippyjon Jones and something afterwards. And I have this nice little book bag. My best girlfriend lent me all these things. She's a school teacher, so thank you to her. And I even have a Skippyjon Jones stuffed toy that I can hang behind me while I read, and he can help me. So it will be wonderful. So let's get the Skippyjon Jones series started. All right, so Skippyjon Jones is set up in a way that Miss Kristy is able to show you the book while she's reading it instead of me having to stop and show you the pictures. So let me share with you the PowerPoint of the book. Oh, goodness, let me go back here. Whoops. Technical difficulties. Let's try this again. There we go. Now, all right, hang on here just about 30 seconds. Tell you what, I'm going to flip through it this way, and then we'll be back at the beginning, and I can start it again. Oh no, boy, all kinds of technical difficulties today, folks. I am so sorry. All right, so I think I got it this time. Let's see, we got Skippyjon behind me to help out also. And let me see if I can share this with you now. I think we got it this time. All right, so now, give Miss Kristy a second here. We'll start this slideshow. And I think we're good to go now. All right, Skippyjon Jones by Judy Schachner. And this is by Scholastic Books. Every morning, Skippyjon Jones woke up with the birds. They say the birds wake up mighty early. And this did not please his mother at all. Get yourself down here right now, Mr. Kitten Britches, ordered Mama Junebug Jones. No self-respecting cat ever slept with a flock of birds, she scolded, or ate worms, or flew, or did his laundry in Mrs. Doohiggy's bird bath. Look, Mama went and got him out of the bird bath. The lecture went on and on as usual. You've got to do some serious thinking before you leave this room, Mr. Fuzzy Pants, said his mother, about just what it means to be a cat. Not a bird, not a mouse or a grouse, not a moose or a goose, not a rat or a bat. You need to think about just what it means to be a Siamese cat. That's what Skippyjon Jones really was, a Siamese cat. And stay out of your closet, she added, closing the bedroom door. I wonder why Skippyjon would be told to stay out of his closet. But once he was alone, Skippyjon Jones began to bounce and bounce and bounce on his big boy bed. Oh, I'm Skippyjon Jones, and I bounce on my bed, and once or 6 times I land on my head. On his way down to earth from a gigantic big bound, Skippyjon Jones shot past his bedroom mirror. Holy guacamole! Exclaimed Skippyjon Jones. What was that? Look at all the eyes in his closet. So up he went again, and again it appeared. Then, using his very best Spanish accent, Miss Kristy's going to try, I don't know. His very best Spanish accent, he said, "My ears are too big for my head. My head ears too big for my body. I am not a Siamese cat. I am a Chihuahua." Back on land, Skippyjon Jones climbed into his toy box and rifled through some of his old junk. After he put on his mask, look, Skippyjon said his rhyme and put on a mask. After he put on his mask and sword and climbed onto his mouse, Skippyjon Jones began to sing in a muy soft voice. "My name is Skippito Friskito. I fear not a single bandito. My manners are mellow. I'm sweet like jello. I get the job done. Yes, indeedo." I'm going to read that again because I just noticed I was supposed to clap. "My name is Skippito Friskito. I fear not a single bandito. My manners are mellow. I'm sweet like jello. I get the job done. Yes, indeedo." All right. So up he went again. Whoops. Back in the kitchen, Jujubee, Jezebel, and Jilly Boo Jones were helping Mama June Bug Jones make lunch. "Can Skippyjon come out of his room now?" asked Jujubee. "No," answered Mama June Bug Jones. "Mr. Fluffernutter is still thinking. They have some crazy nicknames." In fact, Skippyjon wasn't thinking about being a Siamese cat at all. He went for a walk in his closet and ended up in a far lonesome desert road, far, far away in old Mexico. Not long into his journey, a mysteriosa band of Chihuahuas appeared out of the dust. "Ay, caramba, who goes there?" asked Skippyjon Jones. "We go by the name of Los Chimichangos," growled Don Diego, the biggest of the small ones. "Who are you?" "I am El Skippito, the great sword fighter," said Skippyjon Jones. Okay, so let's get this straight before we go on. All his friends want him to come out of his bedroom. Mom said no. He changed himself into Skippito, the great sword fighter, and went into his closet. Right, here's his closet door. On an adventure. And now he is in a desert. And look, he's got some friends here who ask him who he was. The Los Chimichangos. Okay, so now he's on his adventure. Then the smallest of the small ones spoke up. "Why, the mosquito, dude," said Paquito Tito. "I go incognito," said Skippito. "Do you like rice and beans?" asked Pintalito. "See, I love rice and beans," said Skippito. "He might be the dog of our dreams," whispered Rosalita. "Perhaps," said Tia Mia, "if he knows the secret password." Leaning toward Don Diego, El Scapito half sneezed, half spoke the secret password into the Chihuahua's very large ear. "Achoo!" "Bless you," said Don Diego. "Gracias," said Scapito. "Then it is true," decreed Don Diego. "Yippee, yippee, yippito! It's the end of Alfredo Bazito. Scapito is here. We have nothing to fear. Adios to the bad Bumbleito." Then all the chimichangas went crazy loco. First they had a fiesta. Then they had a siesta. Well, you take a siesta. They took a siesta. Miss Kristy needs a siesta. But after waking up, the chimichangas got down to serious business. Using his paw, Don Diego drew a picture in the sand of the great Bumbleito for Scapito to see. They need him to save them. A hush grew over the chimichangas so great that one could hear a whisker drop. Alfredo Bozito, whispered the crowd, El Blimpo Bumbalito Bandito. See, said Paquito, Tito, the bandito steals our frijoles. Not your beans, cried Skippy. Tito, outraged. See, Paquito continued, red beans, black beans, Boston bacon, blue. Cookie, coffee, kidney beans, pinto, and jelly, too. And now he comes for us, Paquito added. Por qué? Asked Skippito. Because we are full of the beans, too. Then Don Diego stood tall and in his most somber voice declared, Yo quiero frijoles. Huh? Asked Capito. The dude just wants his beans back, said Paquito Tito. Frijoles are beans in Spanish. And you are the dog for the job. Me? Asked Scapito. Then all the chimichangas turned toward Scapito, the great sword fighter. But poor Scapito had no time for a plan because in the blink of an eye, a gigantic shadow appeared and it darkened the landscape. The chimichangas scattered in all directions. Vamos, Scapito, or it is you, the bandito, Willito, they cried. Scapito stood his ground, but his legs shimmied and shook like jello, and his teeth chattered like the castanets. Then, in a muy soft voice, he said, My name is Scapito Fresquito. I fear not a single bandito. But Alfredo Bazito flew straight for Scapito until the bean-eating bandito hovered only inches away from the great sword fighter's face. Holy frijoles! Cried Scapito as he thrust his sword into the air. Suddenly, pop! Went the bandito, landing on Scapito's sword, and quicker than one could say, Chihuahuas, cheese, and crackers, every kind of bean came spilling out of Alfredo Bazito, the Bumbalito Bandito. Look, all the beans came out. He popped them like a balloon. Then all the doggies burst into song. Yippee, yippee, yippito. Our hero is El Scapito. He is the dog of our dreams who delivered the beans, and now we can make our burritos. Look, they're so happy. But back at home, there was such a ruckus coming from Skippyjon's room that Mama Junebug Jones and the girls just had to find out what was going on. They raced down the hall to the kitty boy's room. Bangito, Crashito, Papito, Scapito. Just in time to see Skippyjon's closet exploding. Then out flew Candy, beanbag doggies, and the kitty boy with his birthday piñata on his head. Skippyjon Jones, everyone cried. Hola, muchachitas, he said in a muy soft voice. Mama Junebug Jones lifted up Skippyjon and covered his head with furry, purry kisses. What am I going to do with your Mr. Cocoa Pugs? She scolded. Look, so he went into his closet and made an adventure out of the things that were already in there. That night, when he was supposed to be going to sleep, Skippyjon began to bounce and bounce on his big boy bed. Oh, I'm Skippyjon Jones with the mind of my own, and I'll bounce on my bed for hours. I know I'm a cat, but forget about that. Say good night, Skippyjon Jones, called his mother. Buenos noches, mis amigos, said Skippyjon Jones. Well, I hope you enjoyed our adventure with Skippyjon Jones in his closet. Next time, we'll know that he's going to go in his closet for an adventure. And as always, Miss Kristy has to remind you, I have a new mask, of course. This is another vintage Walt Disney mask, and I want to remind you to mask up when you go out anywhere because I want to see you in person really soon. Have a great week.